Welcome to the Friday Five. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to stop binge eating. And I want to be really clear in the beginning that I am not talking about binge eating disorder. This is a disorder that is characterized by a very clear diagnostic definition. I'm going to hit the highlights of it here because if this is you, I am not the person for you. This is out of my scope of practice. So the binge eating disorder diagnosis talks about eating in a discrete period of time an amount of food that is definitely larger than what most people would eat in a similar period under similar circumstances, a sense of lack of control over eating during that time, like you can't feel like you can't stop. And it has three or more of the following: eating more rapidly than normal, eating till feeling uncomfortably full, eating large amounts of food when you're not physically hungry, eating alone because of feeling embarrassed about how much you're eating, feeling disgusted with yourself, depressed, or guilty afterwards. It has marked distress regarding the binge eating, and it occurs on average at least once a week for 3 months. If that describes you, if you even slightly think, hey, that sounds like me, this is not the video for you. I'm not the person to help you with that. Talk to somebody who specializes in binge eating disorder, a mental health counselor or a registered dietitian. I'm talking about the colloquial use of the term binge eating, which people use to refer to like, I ate more than I planned, more than I wanted to, more than was in line with my goals. That's what we're gonna talk about here today. I have 5 tips to help you stop binge eating. Tip number 1 is to stop over-restricting your calories. So think of it like a slingshot. A person sets their calories super low and they over-restrict, and you get to the point where you just feel so over-restricted that equal and opposite reaction the other direction, and you end up overeating. And what happens, even though you've been super low calorie for a period of time, now you've gone super high calorie. And in the end, you end up either at maintenance, sometimes even in a surplus. So what do you do to stop that? You work on the part here, which is stop giving yourself stupidly low calorie target. Bring your deficit up to a moderate calorie deficit. Tip number 2 is to stop labeling foods as bad or off limits. What happens when you do this is when you eventually eat one of these foods, which you will, you have this feeling of like, did it, I already did it, now's my chance. While I can, I might as well just eat a lot of it because I know I'm not supposed to be eating this, so tomorrow I'm gonna stop eating this. And you end up eating some ridiculous amount. When if you gave all food room in your diet, you wouldn't have that experience. So stop labeling foods as good or bad, on or off plan. So tip number 3 is to stop trying to go from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on a bag of Skinny Pop and coffee. Eat actual meals. When you save up your calories for nighttime, it so often leads to overeating. Stop doing that. Tip number 4 is to eat plenty of nutrient-dense foods. So lean protein, vegetables, fiber. This is gonna help you feel full and satisfied. Come on, Lils. And then my final tip to stop binge eating is to set your environment up for success. Stop leaving in your immediate environment foods you tend to overeat. It doesn't mean you're never going to eat these foods. You'll go out to get them. Over time, you'll see that their power over you lessens. But for right now, if you're overeating a certain food, don't keep it in your home or in your car or in your office. That does it for today. Join me next week for another Friday Five.